the bus and the bug. I'm working on my SuperCharger setup now, and I wanted to show my progress. So basically what I've got now, you remember I put on the serpentine belt. Serpentine belt goes here, and it's nicely tensioned, and the car ran great. I drove it yesterday. But now what I've done is I put on my AMR 500 here, and I put on I had to alter this so that it would come and get out of the way of the tensioner pulley, which I can now leave as is. And now there's a perfect line path from here to come up around this one, come down around this one. So the interesting thing about that is, you know, they talk about the degrees of contact with the pulley in terms of being able to not slip. And so here, look at that, it comes almost all the way around this pulley. And then here, since it's coming from here to here, it's gonna have almost 50% on the AMR pulley. And then only here will it have, like from here to here, it's only like maybe 40 degrees on the generator. But the thing is, the generator is super easy to turn. So this one is really hard to turn when you get up around it. This is of course the drive, so you need that to not slip. So I think this is actually perfect, where I have the maximum wrap on this pulley and this pulley, and this pulley gets skimped upon a little bit, but it's the easier one to pull. So I had a really close tolerance here on this. You can see how my air filter slightly rubs my distributor, but that's because I turned this a little too much to keep it away from the tensioner here. But I think this is gonna work great. And now so there's a little flex when I pull on this. That's only because it's only attached there at that old fuel pump thing. I also cut a new gasket out of felt material for under there. So I was afraid they'd push it up a little bit, but it appears as though this closes and does not, hopefully, hit this pulley, because here's where it was hitting here. You can see there's a little groove there. That was when I had the old V-belt pulley. So I think this is going to work great. Now all I'm waiting for, I ordered 49, 47.8 and 47 and 45 inch V-belts. And so I have to see which one will make it around, and around this one, around here, and be able to be tensioned. And again, I can run this tensioner either up, down, I can reverse it, whatever I need to do to get the tensioner, but I need a pulley that can be the proper length. And this seems to be turning nicely, which that was the problem. I had another AMR 500 and it was always rubbing and messed up, and this one seems to be good. So the alignment on that pulley seems to be pretty good if I look down the line. So really what I'm waiting for right now is Amazon to deliver, and it should come today. It's for Amazon to deliver the longer, it's a 4 PK or whatever you call it, 4 rib belt goes around there. So once I get that, I'm going to go ahead and put this on. What I'm going to do is drive it around like this, just driving the blower, but I'm not going to change I'm not going to put it as forced induction yet, because I just want to make sure that I can drive it, and I'll check the temperatures of how everything is going. It probably is going to make a lot of noise like this. I have over here a setup where I can either block off the ends like this, or I can run it into the pressure hats. Also, I'm going to have to swap out my jets so that I have the turbo emulsion tubes in my Weber jets. So that's the progress, and I really like the way this is sitting. This engine looks like a freaking beast now. And you open this up, but when you close it, right, it's completely and totally stock. But of course it's going to make a high-pitched whine, probably of a supercharger, but basically you can't tell, which I think is the beauty of this, is that hopefully it's going to be fast, it'll have, you know, the deck lid mutes the the whine of that AMR 500 a little bit. It's pretty loud when you open the deck lid, but all right. So that's what I'm doing. And as soon as I get that new 4-rib belt, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, and I'll continue with this video. Okay, I wanted to update on my progress here. I received 3 of these V-belts, PK4 or 4-rib, and what I got is a 49-inch, a 47-inch, and then there was no 48-inch, so it's a 47.8-inch. I don't know why they make a 47.8. They can't find a 48, but whatever. So then what I did is I tried them on. The 49 was way too long. I would have had to basically invert the, I would have had to invert this and point it backwards. That would have gotten too close to this side. So then I tried the 47. 47, even with this fully extended on the tensioner, I can't quite get a 47 around it. So I tried the 47.8, and sure enough, the 47.8 is great here. So what I'm thinking is actually a 47.5 would be perfect, because I wouldn't have to pull the tensioner so close. This is like a centimeter from the inside of there, less than a centimeter from that outside rim, but it doesn't hit it, so I think it's okay for now. I started it, and the timing was way off, so I did my timing. The timing again right now, I'm doing 7.5 degrees of advance at idle, because this is not hooked up to the forced induction. But I'll show you the thing running now, and it runs and it drives the supercharger, which is good. So check this out. So that's my progress. You can hear it, and it definitely makes a different noise when these are open and just blowing some air, but it does turn. And I checked the temperature of this with my little temperature reading gun. 82 degrees, 81. It used to get to be 320, so it's ridiculous with the V-belt. So this serpentine belt really solved the problem. So I got the timing right, I got this all on. And the other thing to check, the last thing that I really wanted to check, if I get this, take all this stuff off for the timing, was whether or not this closes. Seems to close just fine. Let's see. I think it will. It should start just fine. I'm gonna just start it like this and make sure it doesn't rub. Great. So with that, I have a working serpentine belt system. It pulls the supercharger, and the supercharger is located in position. It does not rub the deck lid. I did have to do a little finagling to get the air filter to fit with the distributor right next to it, but that fits. Air filter is good. Sucks into here, blows out both sides of here. It'll go into the pressure hats, and I'll do that on the next video. But this was a big win here to get the 4.77. That's what it is, 47.7. If you look at that on the belt. What I really probably need is a 47.5 or a 47.2. I don't even know if they make that, but I will Google it on Amazon and see if I can get a 47.5, because I would prefer it to not for the tensioner not to be quite so close. But you know, I have all of these hoses here for both pressure relief valves like this, as well as my pressure for my the pressure hose that goes into my fuel pressure regulator for my reference, my boost reference. And then I have another one here which comes from all the way up front, which goes back here for my boost gauge in front. So I will connect all of this next time in the next video, and I'm going to see how the supercharger does. And I don't have a wideband air fuel mix yet in order to make sure I'm not going to completely ruin the motor. So I you know, that's like 150 to 150 bucks. I have some of these what do you call it, a bung for the air fuel mix, and I thought about putting those that is to say, putting one in each side of the exhaust here, you know, under here where the Vintage puts them. But I think I can also just stick it in the end of the tailpipe and just do a quick and dirty to make sure that I'm close on the air fuel mix, and that way as I rev it, those turbo emulsion tubes have to make sure that it doesn't lean out too much, and so it doesn't overheat and it doesn't ruin your heads or your cylinders and pistons and all that with the added forced induction. And I also need to know, so I'm moving up from a 1.45 main jet to a 1.6 with the turbo emulsion tubes. And so is that the right one? I'm just guessing. I have 1.55, 1.6, and 1.65, so I could use any of those, and the wideband sensor will help me to know as I rev it and as I idle it that the air fuel mix is okay. So I have two pressure relief valves here, this one and then another one under here by my fuel filter. And the idea there was to set those so that they start releasing pressure around 10 pounds or something like that, because apparently you can, on decel, you can get a huge back pressure, and you just want to make sure that it can release some pressure. I don't have the traditional turbo like dump valve, but those are supposed to relieve the pressure, so that should take me out of the danger zone. But anyway, yeah, anybody has any commentary on this, I'm gonna hook this all up for the next video, and I should have a supercharged 1961 Beetle. All right, talk to you guys soon.